Hi, my name is Ed Schad, curator of the Broad, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about Thomas Houseago's sculpture, Giant Figure, Cyclops, from 2011. If you have visited the ruins of large civilizations on your travels, odds are that you encountered colossal statues along the way. On a recent trip to Egypt, I came across massive ones, the Sphinx at Giza, the Colossi of Memnon and Luxor, and the statues of Ramses II at the Temple of Abu Simbel on the Egypt-Sudan border. Like most ancient statues, the ones in Egypt seem to assert and dissolve the line between human and divine power. These statues aim to be the mouthpieces of gods, and their voices are quite clear. I am powerful. Submit to me and worship me. You might remember Shelley's famous poem, Ozymandias, where he meditates on a statue of Ramses and finds the same tone. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my work, ye mighty, and despair. However, you might notice that outside of totalitarian regimes, colossal statuary is rarely the province of sculpture these days. We have come to look upon these statues with a large dose of skepticism and critique. Now we look upon empires and their legacies and rightly see the exploitation and suffering of thousands of people, those who were subject to these powers, whether they were religious, imperial, colonial, or other forms of dominance. And it took a long time for sculpture to get to the point where it understood that it could dismantle power. In fact, one of the many ways of looking at the term modern sculpture is to see a chain of artists all working to unravel sculptural forms of power. Whether it is Pablo Picasso, Henry Moore, or Louise Bourgeois, look over the last 100 years of sculpture and you often see monumental forms taken apart and studied. They are analyzed, probed, ripped apart, reduced to fragments, and sometimes even put back together. There are, of course, many, many different purposes and intentions behind these individual moves. But it seems that one can shyly say that monuments and sculptures are different now. In the age of embattled democracies, in the age of vigilance towards dictators, and the rightful recognition that power, especially male power, has behaved reprehensibly throughout history and should be checked. This somewhat lengthy preamble about colossal statuary is a way for me to get to thinking about Thomas Houseago's giant figure, Cyclops. It is a sculpture that I would consider in this legacy. We installed Cyclops in an exhibition at the Broad called Creature in 2017. Our preparators at the museum installed the 14-foot-high sculpture over the course of several days. They had all manner of cinches, pulleys, lifts, and forklifts to put this statue up in the galleries. Cyclops is a monster. He aggressively faces out at you. He feels dangerous and full of imposing gravity, like the rough monster from which the sculpture receives its name. If you remember Homer's Odyssey, the Cyclops is the one that bashed the heads of Odysseus' sailors against rocks and subsequently ate them. If you think about that horrible beast and manifest the creature through the world of action figures, you might be able to get a sense of Houseago's sculpture. Cyclops is essentially a cross between the statue at the center of an empire, the manifestation of a leader or a god, and a toy. He is a little bit He-Man, a little bit Colossus of Rhodes, you might say. Yet Houseago handles these traditions in a particular way. Walk around Cyclops, and the sculpture feels increasingly precarious, like it barely holds itself together. He lumbers over you in the gallery, and he feels like he could fall over, like he was assembled out of bits and pieces. Cyclops seems burdened by its body. He is way too top-heavy, like a bodybuilder with absurd pecs and skinny little legs. Houseago produces this effect through how he works in his studio. Like his other bronzes, Cyclops began its life made of clay, built up around a purposefully clumsy armature of metal rebar, bits of wood, and other materials. Go to Houseago's studio and you see all sorts of colossal creatures. And it is hard to know whether they are being built or whether they're being destroyed. Houseago likes it that way. Cyclops retains a sense of ramshackle genesis. You can see openly how he was made. You can see that he was clay. You can see the rebar. You can see his insides ripped open and put on view. Cyclops is in a legacy of assertive statues, yet seems more intent on showing the hollowness of power, its arrogance and its guile. The statue seems to know that no matter how much we try to hold on to power, no matter how many little boys mimic their fathers, running around with swords and playing with action figures, none of this will last. And perhaps it is better that it doesn't.